Hey everybody, Guild Wars Buddy here. Alright, so we've completed Nightfall, Factions, and Prophecies, and now we're on our way into Eye of the North. Probably my favorite of all. I think it's my favorite. That's what we're going to go with. Alright, so I've had to redo my intro a couple of times here because of audio issues. Hopefully they're all resolved. The chroma key's looking a little bit better than yesterday. I'm going to keep fiddling with it until I get it perfect, but for now this looks pretty good. So let's build up our team here. We're gonna put Zed in here, and the reason we're gonna put Zed in is so build he's running. Not the right build. I want him to run an Ice LE. Why? Because we're in Eye of the North, and that makes sense against destroyers. So let's look at what part of Eye of the North we're gonna do now. So we've already investigated the Eye of the North. We've started a little bit of everything, but I want to know. I always started with the Norn, so I think we should start with the Northern Alliance. So seek out Jorah near the Eye of the North, which is literally go outside and talk to her, if memory serves.
Are you lost?
Oh yeah, this is where we chase the Norn bear around the map. We can skip that by going straight to Gunner's Hold, since we already have Gunner's Hold. Now, probably not this episode, but next episode we're going to try to do the arena to get ourselves some skills and unlock some heroes and that kind of jazz. Gonna pound fast. Alright, what's going on with my sound again? Seems like every episode Guild Wars decides to mess with my sound. Don't know why. That's really strange. Oh yeah, now we need to go to Sifhala. I have to say, when I arrived in Eye of the North, when I arrived at each individual location, I felt that the style was just absolutely gorgeous. Now this is compared to the towns and almost all the rest of the game. All of them look kind of boring. This is absolutely gorgeous. And the towns weren't, overblown or spread out weird or anything like that. I felt they were all fairly contained and, but also not overly sparse. I felt they struck a really good balance.
Why are you here?
Never anger a Nord. Okay.
Who goes there?
Now you don't need to kill anything in this zone at all, but we're still gonna kill our way to Sifhala. Pine Souls were a bit of a strange creature. I know that they're in Prophecies. But here it just made more sense. Also, because everything here was higher level. You tend to ignore the low level stuff in Prophecies just because, it's random enemy number 3. But here they have more skills, and so it starts to become a little bit more important. Let's lower the music volume. Got the battle, I think, volume correct, but I hated I mentioned this, that I hated those, like the avalanches, but the sand crag versions in Ilona as an enemy. I hate them even more here as ice creatures. Ah, Jotun. I have to say I found the Jotun to be just ridiculously proportioned, I guess you could say, in this game. In number 2, in Guild Wars 2, I find them more of a realistic size. Like they're distinctly small. Oh man, they're much smaller in Guild Wars 2, and the Norn are so much bigger that you at least don't feel like they're towering over you by so much. Like, how tall are they right now? What is that, like 20 feet high? Even more than that? It's just excessive. No, it's just fucking my Vulcan rolls are just... I need them just right. There you go, right there. That's where I want them. Hopefully they'll remember this time. I think if there's one part I find that Guild Wars 1 and 2 has an issue with is scale. I mean, both games have issues with scale. They just want everything to be so epic or, you know, large. They tend to miss the fact that, you know, it has to be in relation to the player. Like if you play this game in first person mode, like you can't see half of the battle because everything's so goddamn massive compared to the player. It just doesn't make any sense. Oh man, I'm so far away from my team right now. Hello, there you go. That's what happens when you've got cupcakes and you can run around. Even more than 20. I think they're like 25 feet tall right now. If we assume that my character is 6 feet tall, since he's one of the tallest humans, and he's, you know, on par with everybody else in this fictitious universe. I mean, look at this. I'm not even sure Kanaksai is this tall. Like the end of their mace is, I think, larger than my torso. You know what I mean? Were there Jotun in the Fish River Peaks before? I only remember them being in factions near the Feather Farm on Noob Island.
I like how you have no arms, but you do have, it does look like you have a pillow.
Yeah, it's hard to get it just right. like it'll work fine for a couple of minutes, and then all of a sudden it'll not know where my head is.
Yeah, I can imagine. I just don't bother green screening whenever I do a face cam.
Some people prefer it just because I take up less of the screen.
I'm small.
Yes. I have broad shoulders. Not to mention a massive fucking head. You know how hard it is to get hats?
I don't usually go for hats.
I have to wear them for work, so.
Oh, fair.
As a member of the armed forces, I can't be outdoors with my head exposed.
Hmm.
If there's one creature that makes the most sense of being in the Shiver Peaks, but I wish they hadn't bothered putting them in, it's the goddamn centaurs. Makes total sense. There were a ton of them in Prophecies. You know, you couldn't go through the Shiver Peaks without encountering a bazillion of them. You know, the main mission where you bring the Ascalonians across the Shiver Peaks, you have to fight a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Totally get it. Hate their guts.
Oh, I hate the one. What map is it? It's it's not Northern Shiver Peaks, but the old Northern Shiver Peaks. Vanquishing it, and there's that one group of centaurs that's running around. I have to track it down and kill them. It took me like an hour to vanquish that zone after I had killed like 99% of everything.
In Prophecies or
In
in
Prophecies.
Oh, okay. Because there's a few like this. There's a couple of centaur groups in this area here.
Mhm.
In was it Cephala? No, Drakkar Lake, and
Yeah.
they have a fairly wide patrol pattern.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh no, we're gonna have to do the Blood Dragon mission, aren't we? The not the Blood Dragon, the Ice Dragon, Ice Griffin, Ice Griffin,
Mm.
cold as ice. Oh god, how do I do that? I needed a particular build for that. I'm starting to think I used Signet of Spirits or something like that.
Mm. That was ages ago for me.
I used some kind of Rit build, if memory
Yeah.
serves.
Well, I played most of the game in a writ, so almost every one of my builds was Spirit of Signet's build.
That means going to cap that skill.
Fun.
That's definitely going to be a part of that. If I'm going to have to do the arena and do the Cold of Ice
Oh,
mission.
yeah. One day I'll get off Shinjai Island. One day.
I think that took one episode.
Well, I did every single profession quest.
Wow, you know. You made bad decisions.
I did.
Has my reputation with the Norn reached the first level? No.
Get on that. Master Togo.
Hello, Morbid Existence. And Raidhada. Raidhada. No, I'll go capture it. I think it'll be interesting and an interesting episode if I do that. Not this episode.
Mhm.
Next episode.
Yeah. Isn't
Which
that
part?
in Echovold Forest?
Oh god. Oh yeah, this mission. This weird half mission.
Why are you here?
Blah.
I promised myself I'd try to do something other than Fire Ellie, but guess what I'm doing?
There are some really interesting ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have the biggest skill pool right now.
Great Hollow loves fire alleys. You're from Guild Wars 11 years ago. We'll just go back to it this weekend. Yeah, I could understand why you missed it. I mean, this whole nostalgia series has been a lot of fun. Oh, the cutscene, Jorah's Curse.
What is this creature, Jorah? You seem to know a lot about it.
I know all too much, I'm afraid.
It's all Scandinavian. Shouldn't it be Yora?
I were both hunters. One day we
What do you mean it's
chased our
Canadian?
prey across Drakkar Lake.
Not Canadian,
That's
Scandinavian.
normally shunned.
Oh,
Wait,
We
where'd
found
Master
something
Togo go? Oh shoot, I left Master Togo behind.
Jorah,
Whoops.
something in the air.
All I feel is a chill harsher than any blizzard.
Oh, there you are.
Yes, it is cold, but it also feels ancient, old and powerful.
This place is cursed, Svanir. Let us
man,
not.
like they attempted to make hair. Like, look at his beard. Like, look how terrible that is.
I do not know what happened.
Like his beard's clothing. It stretches like spandex.
Are you telling me that isn't how beards work?
I cannot embrace the wild. I can no longer become the bear. My brother seized the power and went mad. He was transformed. He became the creature who fought. My brother now raids the Norn settlements. He avoids me, though I pursue him. I communed with the bear's spirit. She wishes you to aid me.
You want us to help find your brother?
No, I want you to help me kill him.
Dun dun dun.
Why are you here?
Alright,
Oh
what
no.
is the next mission?
Why are you here?
I'm ready to face the Norn Bear. Yes. Let's go out hunting.
I get to start my first mission on this character. It's so exciting.
Oh, Mandragores. I hated them in Nightfall. I hate them even more here. I look forward to fighting the Destroyers. It was such an interesting creature. You lost where the next mission is, Morbid Existence? Well, where are you? Which campaign? Oh, I just played through all of Prophecies in my my Let's Play, so.
whose idea was it that like just pure fourth wall breaks was like needed for like the characters to explain to you the UI and stuff? Why can't you just have that pop up? I don't. It's like it doesn't seem very in character master for you tell me to hold control and double click one of the guards.
After Althea's ashes, don't you have to go towards? That's where you get to choose which side you have. Do you do befriending the Luxons or befriending the Kurziks? That's where you get to pick which one.
You're talking about factions.
Oh yeah, that's right. Where's Althea's
Althea's
ashes?
Ashes is in the beginning and right after post Searing Ascalon.
Oh,
Hasn't even crossed the Shiver Peaks yet.
wow. Yes, now I can become the wolf. These aren't giants. These are the Jotun. I think they were. I'm pretty sure they were a faction's enemy. I think that's the first time we see them. Is in faction.
I'm looking at it. Also, they are giants. It says right here they're a race of lesser giants.
Lesser giants aren't giants.
They're only seen in the far Shiver Peaks and the depths.
That's a
says-
lie.
I think there were other giant races in Cantha, but
Yeah, in Cantha they're Jotun. I mean they're recycled or something. I don't know, but they're exactly the same fucking sprites. So.
but not recolored blue.
You should have a look because you're there now, right?
Yeah, I'm also in the middle of a mission.
Oh.
And Master Togo's running off without me.
No Master Togo.
I mean, he's no Rurik, but still.
He's also no Memlo.
True.
Tonight I made some pasta and I used the basil infused olive oil. Oh, what a horrible mistake that was. It tasted like soap.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Are you sure you didn't accidentally put soap into it?
Yes, yes it is.
Sure it wasn't basil scented soap. Second question, why do you have basil scented soap?
Alright, now to find the Norn. Ah, there he is. He's up here.
I love how quickly Master Ghost rose from, oh no, these guards are sick, to, it's murder time.
Kill it! Kill the bear! Hurry before the Mandragores come back. Yeah. It's funny, I was watching also grinding this grind for gold's annoying. Why are you having to grind for golds? What are you trying to get? What are you trying to get? I was watching I was reading an article about cultural appropriation. This guy went to the a dollar store. He's a Native American, and they were selling dream catchers.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "This is totally wrong. Like we make these in a sacred ceremony. Blah blah blah." If he had left it at that, it would have been fine. But then he made a critical mistake, which is that he said it would be like going into a grocery store and seeing crucifixes and communion wine being sold in like the juice and food aisle or something. The problem with that is we sell that in stores in Quebec. you
sell consecrated wine?
Not consecrated wine, but we sell so when they make the host, they're not perfect cookies, right? So what they do is how do I explain this? They use a cookie cutter, so you end up with all this excess.
Yeah.
So they sell the excess in stores.
I don't think that's quite the same. It's like that's just like a byproduct than
It's
the actual stuff.
But it's still sold in stores, right?
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing. I'm not saying it is
Yeah.
the same thing.
Well,
but
it's like there is no like religious significance to the industrial byproduct of that.
yes, but I think most places don't sell them.
The better question is, who would buy that?
They taste quite nice.
Must have better quality ones than the ones we got here.
But it's one of those things where look, like you have to be careful of the analogy you make because you might be saying something that you think is strange, but in actuality it's just the homogenization of a lot of things have made it so nobody finds that particularly strange. You might find it strange.
I think honestly that's something that like I think a lot of people would find strange.
Dream catchers in a dollar store?
Oh no, people selling communion shit.
I'm not facing him yet. Stupid Norn bear. Come on. Fight me before my 100 blades goes away.
Yeah, you have to like just go with like 80 or something.
The Norn bear.
stand aside. I must finish this.
Jorah, he's defeated.
He is my brother. He is my responsibility.
It's such a silly scene. It's just like.
Honestly, I might just go back to Rit because Rit is just so much easier to pilot.
Jorah, you have my sympathy.
This was the only way it could end.
God damn it, Togo. Aggroing all the things.
The curse is lifted. For both me and Svanir, I think. You have helped me. I shall help you.
Good. We need to unite the other Norn to fight the destroyers.
I fear my words will carry little weight. I have my brother's blood on my hands.
If you can't influence the Norn, then who can?
Olaf, the sevenfold son of Olaf, is esteemed by many. As for me, I must seek Egil, who tells tales by the flame, to fully redeem my family's name.
Olaf it is, then. I need to talk to a Norn leader.
Norn do not have leaders, dwarf. Only heroes.
Jorah, we can aid you and seek out allies. Let us help you with your burdens.
You have the spirit of a Norn, human. I am proud to call you friend.
The Norn really a separate race
From?
from the humans?
No idea, because ANET has not really gone into the lore, ever.
Really?
Well, they haven't really expanded. Like, it's very shallow compared to every other race. Because I honestly think they're really cool, but just haven't really tapped into a lot of the potential.
Why are you here?
Alright, speak with Blood Washes Blood. Do I want to do Blood Washes Blood? Yeah, let's do Blood Washes Blood.
It seems like a very poor way to wash something. I mean, when you already used all your soup in cooking, not soup, soap in cooking, talking's hard.
Oh, who do I talk to get my Norn title started?
Are you hunting something?
I think you just start getting it. Yeah, you have it, Slayer of Imps.
Yeah, but then it doesn't give me anything yet. Who do I?
Yeah, you have to. Oh, yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's
I'll
this.
look it up.
I think it's this guy that I'm going. The Blood
Well,
Washes
he'll-
Blood quest.
Yeah, okay, maybe. Tyr the Scald, who is in Gunnar's Hold.
Damn it! Yeah, Radahada agrees. God
I
damn
love
it.
how the cutscenes will still have like all your henchmen fighting and stuff.
Oh, that is so stupid. Oh no, Morbid, he was answering my question, not yours. Your question, let's see now, you just defended the northern wall? Let's look at the map here, let's look at the map. The next one should be Ruins of Surmir, isn't it? After the Great Northern Wall? Or is it Fort Rannick? This one or this one? If you're looking at my map.
Such a noob, you didn't do all the bonuses?
No! I didn't know!
Oh.
This is
Oh.
this is a nostalgia series, not a completionist series.
The completionist in me is hurt.
I never do it the masters the first time.
I mean, if it's not too hard, I'll do it the first time.
Alright, where you at? Where you at, person that gives me this title? Where you at? Oh, it's a Gunner's Hole. What am I doing in Safala? How many people still play Blue Typhoon? I don't know. A fair amount. I mean, in every town I go in, there's at least one person. And if I go to Spamadan, there's at least 100
Yeah.
people running around.
And I think you don't see most people probably because they're in zones and stuff.
Yeah.
What shocks me is the number of people who are just hanging around in whatchamacallit, Ascalon City and pre-searing.
Yeah, but I mean, those people are silly. They're really silly. They've been there way
That's
too
fair.
long. Where is this motherfucker? He's over here, isn't he, near the arena? Yes, yes, Norn Storyteller. There he is. Yeah, for some people it is all about the titles.
Never anger a Norn.
You don't want to go to Embark Beach unless you really need to go to Embark. I don't know, there's no real reason to be there. I'm interested in the skills of heroes. Alright, so now... Yes, extra health. Now let's go back to blood. Wash his blood.
In addition to like not being good at washing something, it also just sounds very unsanitary.
Hmm. Well, it depends if you're
Like,
still bleeding.
Are you hunting something?
yeah, well, it's like I mean, having blood on anything isn't great for sanitary, and then adding more blood, presumably not from the same source, just that's just asking for disaster.
Witch Hunter, I don't know if people still do the Luxon and Kurzik events, but there's definitely people still donating Luxon and Kurzik. If you look here.
I'm pretty sure there's people donating lots of Kurzik. Look at the map.
Yeah, if you look at the map and factions, there's definitely people still, you know, doing PvP stuff, because it's affecting the map still.
Let's just say it's not a great time to be in a Luxon guild.
Don't be hating.
No, I'm not.
No, don't pull back. Oh, god damn it. Now I gotta watch every single group on the goddamn map run into me here. How much of influence do you lose per... Is it per week or per day?
I have no idea. I actually never really learned how that system worked.
I think it's 10% you lose per day.
That sucks.
It was some crazy amount. Like, it was stupid. Like, you want to talk about Guild Wars 2, some of the syncs they have. Faction was like one of those.
Why are you here?
You hate Guild Wars 2? No. I have issues with both games, so
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, is it a perfect game? No. Am I frustrated with a lot of things? Yes, but it's like, I still enjoy playing it. I think it has a lot of redeeming things, and it's also gorgeous. Like,
it is much nicer than this game. But then
yeah.
again, they could have just remastered this one and it would have been pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It is
Mandragores.
definitely it is definitely one a game where it's like you can't. It is a hard game. Like a lot of people when they play MMOs, they want to just engrossed in that game. It's a much harder one just to get totally engrossed in, like all the time.
Yeah, in Guild Wars 2, there's definitely a lot of things that I'll never really never get to see. There's things I want them to like do. In this series, we went by the floating castle, and I haven't. When I'm gonna go to Guild Wars 2, I'm probably gonna go to the section of the map where that's in,
Mm-hmm.
and be like, look, here's a completely piece of wasted potential that they've never touched. And by the time they do touch it, because they probably said, oh well, we don't wanna, blah blah blah. How are they going to make it interesting?
Yeah.
It's too late now.
Yeah, I think one of my biggest problems with Guild Wars 2 right now is just the story is way too single track minded. That they just don't have a good system of giving peripheral lore besides stuff that is directly on the thing, the main plot line. Or it's not unless they have a good system for doing it, it's just they don't. That like a lot of the good lore world building stuff that like kind of like made me fall in love with the lore of the world just has been stagnant since Guild Wars 2's release.
Give an example.
Just like that, like the any further like background lore of the Norn or stuff like things have been like very vaguely hinted at, or like what's going on with like whatchamacallit, the Flame Legion, like that things. It's like, okay, we had the end of Citadel Flame, and the kind of like Balefire kind of like got messed up a bit, but what else is going on? Like, there's a bunch of like time sensitives. So what about like the the Char Crichton peace accordings? Like, that never actually got fully resolved.
Is there an event going on? I found some snowmen fighting
There
Grinches.
might be.
The fuck? The gods are out of the picture, says Witch Hunter.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm not gonna talk about it because spoilers.
This reminds me of keg bombing. I used to be able to kill all you motherfuckers at once.
What is the policy of spoilers on the stream?
No
It's
spoilers
also,
if you can help it, depending on who's
yeah,
like watching.
but it's also been like two weeks. Oh, okay. The Guild Wars, you can't for that for the skills, you cannot compare Guild Wars 2's mechanics to Guild Wars 1. It's like mechanically they're incredibly different games,
Yeah,
and
but at the
like
same time, there's something to be said about they went with this model in order to avoid splitting the PvP and PvE tracks, to avoid having too many skills, and now they're having to do it anyway.
yeah.
Which begs the question why they needed this reductorist model
But
in the
even then,
first
like
place.
when every slot is completely customizable, balance just becomes so much more of a headache. And
But it makes for way more
from
interesting
that
builds.
perspective, that's fair. But at the same time, it's like it's I don't feel like there's a shortage of necessarily weapon skills.
Like, what do you think is more of a factor? The equipment you're wearing or the skills you're running in Guild Wars 2?
In Guild Wars 2, the skills are running.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, I mean, like the equipment, like the stat build that affects it, but it's like I think it varies from class to class, but definitely I think the skills ain't running. I mean, honestly, if you say anything, I'd say it would be your trait lines.
And it's nice that they made it so you could change them on the fly.
Yeah, that was stupid at launch. And also like de-associating attributes with the trait lines was a good change.
No, don't let them consume the flames.
Yeah. But it's like, okay, think about it this way. Guild Wars 1, you have 8 skills that you can customize. Guild Wars 2, you have your right 5 that you can customize. There's 5 there, and then you have 2 weapon slots. So you essentially get 7 skills you can customize.
Yeah, but it doesn't compare to having 270 skills to choose from to put however you want them in a bar.
At the same time, how many of those 270 are actually used?
Well, for a while,
Like,
a lot of them were. Before the meta, of course.
Yeah, before the meta, yeah, like anything will fall apart with meta, but like at least with a smaller, more constrained thing, they can work on making everything kind of like fit within a meta. Like, we'll balance everything a bit more tightly and everything. You can't have unless you bind like some together, you can't have every skill be equally viable in the in a meta as every other skill.
I call upon Bear for her blessing. I call upon Bear for her power. I call upon Bear for her strength.
And as to the question of like why did it take 4 years to build Guild Wars 2? Because it was a huge undertaking.
Like, well, it was a different engine, right?
It was a different engine, just and also like they didn't ArenaNet isn't a AAA publisher with AAA resources in terms of programmers and artists and such. Like, you can't put them on the same, like, for the scale of game they were making, they worked with they could.
Blood washes blood.
Walk in the path of Bear. Receive her gifts.
Walk in the path of Bear.
You know what must be done. Go with the Bear spirit.
I understand. Thank you.
You understand. Could you bring the rest of us up to speed?
Blood washes blood. To restore my family's name, we must retake my family's lands. These lands lie to the east and have been overrun by Char.
I feel like the character, like the racial traits of the factions, if you will, or in Guild Wars 2 were established by the characters of Guild Wars 1, Eye of the North.
Yeah, the racial ones, yeah.
Yeah. So the Azura are slightly, no, Gad and Vec are just slightly annoying. Therefore, all Azura are annoying. It's like, what the fuck?
I don't think all Azura are annoying.
Have you heard them? Oh, dude, like 99% of the time they act like spoiled fucking children.
Yeah. But also, I think Guild Wars Eye of the North was specifically made to set up Guild Wars 2. Like, that was the point of the game. It makes sense that they would have, like, the quintessential Azura would be the Azura that you see in Eye of the North.
Well, you only really meet 2. The other one aren't that bad, but almost every interaction I have with the Azura in Guild Wars 2, they're just needlessly annoying. The Norn with their weird melodramas.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, well, I guess I have to deal with these guys for some reason. over aggro everything. Well, if you stopped playing Prophecies because you had finished everything, you've got a long way to go. That being said, the Let's Play hasn't been going on for that long, and I'm quite a long ways. I'm a good ways in now. You know, I'm done the 3 main campaigns already.
Yeah.
Granted, not mastered. Didn't do all the optional missions. Didn't do all the optional objectives.
Are you gonna you could do a full Vanquish on stream?
No. God, I hated Vanquishing.
I enjoy Vanquishing. It's nice and relaxing.
Depends what
I
area
put
it
on
is.
a podcast and I just vanquish the zone.
Man, I remember when we got Urson Way the first time and realized that we could use it for everything. It's like, wait a second. I can become this bear whenever I want? What? And it was the realization that if you were an Ellie, you could keep your energy regen up, and you could just stay in the form forever. Alright, every Ellie go get the skill. Everybody's a tank now. Just running into combat. Fucking Ellie's in melee range. That was another one of those things that they had a hard time balancing.
Yeah. Guild Wars 1 just seems a nightmare for balancing with like secondary professions and just the versatility of skills and things like that. And
I understand it's difficult to balance,
Yep.
but that's what made it fun to play. Was
Yeah.
The fact that you could create these strange builds.
But like that's something you do have to pay more attention to when you're building a. It's a difference between building an MMO and a multiplayer online game. That to be taken like seriously as an MMO, there has to be some level of that like serious overlooks on balance and stuff.
Well, remember the Existence here is complaining about the pay-to-win model. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the side effects of their gem store, and you can buy gold in game if.
But at the same time, you're not gonna pick up that lockpick.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, and also like, oh, why aren't you going to pick that up?
Why do you care?
It's almost a plat. But yeah, but like I don't know, Guild Wars 2 is nowhere near the atrocities that like a lot of other games do, because it's like, yeah, you can buy like gold and stuff, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't give you that much of an advantage. Like it's mostly to just get cosmetic stuff. Like you can still do most content just by playing the game. I mean, I would say all content just by playing the game.
I think I still need to kill one of these guys in order to trigger this shrine.
What I don't like about the gym store is their shift to everything being outfits, because outfits are BS, because I want to mix and match. I don't want the same predefined outfit I want to put together my own looks, and outfits just don't do it for me. And all they like to put out now is just outfits.
So it makes them the most money, probably.
And they're easiest to make because it's easier to handle clipping errors and stuff like that with a predefined set of stuff.
So what you're saying is, if I put on one of these outfits, I won't have any clipping issues?
I'm not saying that, but it's saying like it's easier. All bets are off. Are also if you're playing a char.
Rah! Burst through the gates. Oh, this was so much fun. It was so confusing too the first time you got to this place and you're like, what do they want me to do to get through these doors? You press every skill, all of a sudden they just burst open. You're like, what did I do? What's Ashes of Creation? I've never heard of it. No, I didn't see the season 3
Yeah,
Flashpoint.
I watched that.
Oh yeah, what was interesting about it?
Yeah. Oh, just kind of like the I think also there is merit to that. Like you might say like, oh, they're trying to reduce diversity and stuff, and it's like, yeah, I get like all the hate on medium armor because they're all trench coats and they don't. Dang it, but I think like there is merit in just being able to like looking at a character, even if you don't know the exact armor pieces, like being able to see, oh, this is a heavy armor class, and that reduces it to 3 options that it might be.
My problem with Kickstarter is always going to be Godus. Peter Molyneux ruined Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Godus got twice the amount they needed, and then they sold it on early access, and then they never put out anything. They put out a broken game. They said, yeah, it's an alpha, it's not done, it's not done, it's not done.
Mm.
Oh, by the way, this is also a freemium game, so we lied to the Kickstarter people by telling them we're making a PC version. And now we're going to close our support desk and work on another game and not finish this one. But we're still going to sell it on Steam as early access, even though we have no
Yay.
intention of finishing.
Yay!
Alright, I have one more door to get through. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Stance, stance, come on. Get out of my way. Yeah! Is it really that important to know what armor class someone is? I don't understand.
I think it's generally like, I mean, at one I think at a glance there is something like also aesthetically, like keeping the armor classes aesthetically distinct is important.
Wouldn't it be simpler just to put over everybody's head, and that's an option you can turn on and off, the symbol of their class?
I mean, I think that I would get behind an option like that.
Wouldn't
But at
that
the same
be
time, I'm not talking
simpler?
about like, also, I'm talking about like just like if you're looking from an aesthetic design perspective, keeping them defined. Like because as soon as you like start mudding the barriers, then it's just the question of like why are there armor classes at all?
Yeah, but we're talking about just an aesthetic thing to make so that I could see the difference.
Oh yeah, no, I would totally get behind something like that.
So, as a guardian, I have heavy armor. What does that do for me exactly?
You have higher based toughness technically.
Okay.
Because like your total like damage reduction is based off of your toughness plus your armor. Armor ratings are just toughness, and you just have a higher one. I'm not saying that they could do things other than the trench coat, but I think the silhouette idea is one way to do it. And like that's kind of what they've chosen for the aesthetic. And like there's actually a fair amount of non-trench coats. Like I main thief. Like I have gone through I know almost all the pieces of armor. And yeah, there's a lot of trench coats, but it's definitely not as much of a problem as it is that people say it is. Okay. I do stand by the fact that the legendary medium armor is hideous, but
I've been I liked the back piece back when it was, you know, an important item. Now it's like, man, whatever.
Which back piece?
The fractal capacitor was kind of cool.
Yeah. Honestly, I still like the aesthetic of it.
Jorah, now that we've held
Hold on a moment, Ogden.
I actually never got it. 'Cause I didn't care for fractals in the early days.
Are you all right?
And I've always just spent my fractal relics and other things.
Very pleased with what we've done this day.
pleased enough to help us?
I will continue to aid you.
I mean, will the other Norn help?
That is for each of them to decide.
Can't we just rally your people and raise an army to fight the destroyers?
The Norn do not use armies. We fight alone, as true warriors should.
But we helped you.
And I will help you, Dwarf. I will speak to the others. But whether they help or not is their choice, not mine.
It will take forever to raise an army one Norn at a time.
The Norn do not need armies.
The Great Dwarf saved me.
You know, he is only worried about his people.
I know, but he must understand. Norn are not like dwarves or men. We fight our own battles, our own way.
I think I understand.
And that is why you lead.
Awesome. And that probably gave us the next rank up, did it? Oh no? Really? We're still just a Slayer of Imps? Lame. Oh man, look at the quality of this fire. Look at that. Look at that fire burn. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. There's some graphics right there. Alright, so we completed our 2 missions and we've gone into Eye of the North. Next episode we'll complete the Northern Alliance, and then we're probably going to switch over to the Azura since we've already done one of those quests already. And then finally we'll make the switch to the Ebon Vanguard. Alright, so thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you all next time.